Hello everyone. Fateful slave, being very naughty this morning, having very apostate thoughts. I wanted to share a thought that I had this morning with you guys. And that's how, when you are a Jehovah's Witness, you are slowly conditioned. Your brain is pretty much hijacked. And you have certain routines that are beat upon you to the point where, before you know it, not only are you following a certain schedule, day to day, week to week, but when you deviate from the schedule, there's something that happens. You actually get to the point to where you feel guilty anytime you fail to adhere to the schedule. What am I talking about? Well, the Jehovah's Witnesses have several meetings throughout the week. It's a time and place you're supposed to meet with the other members, kind of like church. And it's not just frowned upon when the members miss these meetings, but there's a certain knee-jerk reaction to when the various members see other members not show up. There's a pretty visceral response. First of all, if you miss like one meeting, it's no big deal, but you'll get phone calls from people in the congregation. Oh, I just checking up on you because I noticed you wasn't sitting at the meeting. Hope everything's all right, that sort of thing. If you miss a couple meetings in a row, then people will start speculating. Oh, what's going on with brother so-and-so? There's a lot of social pressure for you to adhere to the schedule that's set up for you by the Jehovah's Witness leaders. And it's not just showing up for meetings, wearing your dress clothes and presenting yourself for this little social club. But it goes deeper than that. Every day you're supposed to read from this little book. It's called the Daily Text. Every year, the Jehovah's Witnesses are given a new one, and it's a little snippet, a little paragraph or two each morning that you're supposed to read out of this book. Basically, it starts off with a scripture, and then they'll have an interpretation for said scripture and what it's supposed to mean to you. And it's supposed to be read first thing in the morning so that you start your day right. And I think that this is another way that they're trying to condition the mind of their members. Because if you can start people's day with a reminder that this is who you are, this is what you believe, don't forget. Well, that's a pretty powerful tool in keeping people in line and keeping them on the same page of the doctrine and the routines and the schedule that they've set forth. But there's more to it than that as well. Every meeting has material that they want the members to go over in advance and prepare for. Reading it over, preparing thoughts so that they can comment at the meeting. There'll be a section or two at each meeting where a portion of the program, they'll ask questions to the audience, and the audience is supposed to be prepared so that they can answer those questions, raise their hand, and they'll call on the various brothers and sisters or whatever. So there's a lot of interactive parts to being a Jehovah's Witness, and I think this is another way that they keep conditioning the mind, and they keep you in this illusion of their beliefs. If you can keep reminding people what they're supposed to believe, then they'll remember to shun members who've been disfellowshipped next time they pass them in the supermarket. And I know that this is a thing, not because I'm some expert on psychology or I'm well-read on such things as mind control or anything like that, but I know that this is a thing because when you leave the organization, or even when you stop going to meetings and you stop socializing with Jehovah's Witnesses for a period of time, even so little as a month, you begin to start thinking differently. You begin to start thinking more clearly. Maybe not every Jehovah's Witness, but certainly for me, that's what happened. You begin to allow yourself to think about things that you wouldn't before. I think it's because you're not being bombarded with these constant reminders of doom and gloom and what you should be thinking. There's another aspect to this that I wanted to touch on. It's kind of good news in a way. The realization that you at one time were basically, well, you had your whole mind reformed and reprogrammed to believe a certain thing and to respond a certain way every day. This is good news because once you leave, there is the realization that if you could be programmed to follow a routine like that, if you could be programmed to feel guilty about deviating from these little tasks that you're supposed to perform every day, maybe you could condition your brain to behave that way for a healthy routine or something very productive. I think a good workout routine is very similar. If you can condition yourself, and this is something that I've been working on, conditioning myself to wake up every day and get up and go and do the stuff that I need to do. And it's pretty tough to force yourself to condition your own brain to behave in these patterns. But I have noticed that once you start developing a routine or something that you value very much, a pattern that you value, the same thing kind of happens. If I go a couple days without going to the gym, I actually feel guilty about it. And this is because I've hammered it into my brain how important it is every day. And yeah, eventually, after doing it for years, it just clicks. This is valuable. You can't go without it. Get your ass in the gym. And I'm not trying to preach to you guys to get in shape, but this could be done for a lot of different things. If there's something that you want in life, or something that you would like to devote time to, take a page from the LJWs. If you try hard enough, you can condition your brain to make time for it, to put it into a pattern, a routine, to the point where one day you'll actually feel guilty for missing doing it. So try and take this whole Jehovah's Witness thing and this history that we have and learn from it. Try to apply it in our lives in a positive way. And that's something that I'm going to be trying to do in my own life, and I'm going to try and share with you guys in any aspect that I think we can do this. I'm going to try and bring it to your attention. But I appreciate you guys listening to the video. And Faithful Slave, I'm out.